So my talk is on sea turtle tracking and facial recognition. I once discovered a rehabilitation center for marine animals in Florida, and this is where my passion for marine animals came from. Sea turtles are special to me because they help the open ocean so much by transporting the organisms that live in them and essential nutrients from beaches to reefs to seagrass beds and the ocean. Sadly, the populations of sea turtles around the world have been reduced and impacted by many human activities, such as climate change or changing the layout of the beach, which can confuse the turtles and subsequently change where they travel to and their population size. So they are definitely in need of help. After I started thinking about marine life, I decided to look into how people conserve sea turtles, since many are endangered, such as the Kemp's Ridley sea turtle. A way people conserve sea turtles is by tracking them, and that's important because it helps us realize the size of the sea turtle population and helps us to look at migration patterns of sea turtles, as migration patterns are incredibly useful for understanding how different environmental aspects affect turtles. An interesting method of sea turtle tracking is called sea turtle photo ID. This method uses pictures of turtles that people have sent onto a database called Internet of Turtles. You can report an encounter on the website, and Internet Turtles will use facial recognition software to identify the scales on the side of the turtle's face, which for them is like a fingerprint, as each turtle has a different pattern, and the database will automatically check if it's a new turtle or one that's been seen before. The Internet of Turtles website have 16,133 identified turtles in the database. This software is used in many applications for animals such as dogs, cats, and even chickens. Now, the way that face or pattern recognition works is by taking the pattern, and the database is able to go through all the possible patterns, like going through combinations on a lock, except a lot faster, until it finds a match. And if it doesn't find a match, then it's identified as a new turtle. There are 10,000 different combinations for that lock, and there are so many more for the patterns on the turtle's face. That's how amazing this database is. But how is this tech used in everyday life? Well, similar software to the one used in Sea Turtle Photo ID is used in a large amount of security software, such as personal surveillance cameras. It's also used to identify repeat shoplifters, is used for airport checking and boarding, all the way to unlocking your phone. So, face recognition software plays a vital role in everyday life, as well as helping sea turtles around the world. Thank you for listening.
Well done, Holly. 2 minutes and 55 seconds. So congratulations. So let's go to Emily first this time for the judge's comment.
I think that was really, really interesting. I had no idea that, first of all, I didn't even know that turtles had different kind of scale patterns on their faces and that facial recognition could be used to kind of track that. I was wondering if a turtle hasn't been identified for a long time, is it kind of assumed that it's not alive anymore, or is it just that it could be in a different place in the world? Is that to do with the migration patterns of that it just might be somewhere else?
Well, yeah, so if a turtle, once it's been recorded, it does take a while for it to be seen by another human. So I guess that's where the migration pattern comes in, with it being followed up. And if it's not followed up, it may have died, but it does take a while for the humans to actually take a picture, because it's normally in the sea where you don't really get many humans. So yeah, it might take a while.
Steve, would you like to ask your question next?
Sure. I get concerned when they're using facial recognition, because what happens if they scan me and think I am a turtle? Because you never know, there might be some similarities. So I mean, in the past, when it comes to looking at tracking animals around the world and their migration patterns, they normally tag them. And of course, turtles are easy to tag because you can just stick a tracker on the back of their shell and it doesn't really harm them in any way. Are they looking at combining the two? Because, with a tracker, you can get exact information, but relying on just images. And what happens if the images are not of good quality? Who goes around photographing turtles on boats? Or do they have people that do that sort of thing? Or is it just the public? Is it a citizen science project where people just take photos and send it in?
Yeah, so I have looked at this. So obviously there are other tracking methods such as PTTs, which are like machines you stick to the back of the shell, which do track them, but this can be quite an inconvenience for the turtle. And although it might not hurt them, it will affect them in their everyday life. So definitely I think it will be more comfortable for the turtle, this different method. But also, and then you say about public, the public would be the ones taking the photos, but also, have you heard of the Oliver Ridley Project? They're like a turtle organization that is basically a rehabilitation center for turtles, and they are also partnered with working towards this tracking method. And so there are lots of stations around the world which are from obviously bigger companies which do a lot of picture tracking and take pictures of the turtles.
Yes, Holly. And it's interesting you mentioned the Oliver Ridley project, because I've been following that for quite some time, and I believe they've released about 126 rehabilitated sea turtles since they first started, back in 2017.
Yes, actually, if you go onto Internet of Turtles, like just online, it will actually tell you that it will show on the website that Oliver Ridley Projects works with them, and it will tell you how many. There's like a leaderboard of how many turtles they have identified, and I think I'm not sure of the exact number. It's loading right now, so I'll get back to that one. But yeah, it does. There are different. The main people who really take pictures of the turtles are like big organizations such as the Ridley Projects, or it will be family organizations who just run a local turtle project. But okay, I've got it now. Yeah, so Oliver Ridley Projects has had 484 encounters, and they're one of the top of the leaderboard, so a lot of that contributes.
Yes, they were founded in 2013, I believe, and they continued and they've opened their first veterinary centre in 2017. So interesting that you touched on that, Holly. Alex, you're up next.
Wow, I love that presentation so much. So I am a mad keen scuba diver. Whenever I can, I go off diving. I go to Egypt a lot, and I dive with dolphins and turtles, mantas, sharks, and I love diving with turtles. I think they are just such beautiful, beautiful creatures, and they fly through the water. And I have lots of pictures and videos of turtles. So in my day job, I work in technology. I work in something called IoT, which people use to mean the Internet of Things, Internet connected devices. But I think from now on, I'm going to work in the Internet of Turtles because it's much, much cooler. And I didn't know, I love turtles and I didn't know anything about any of that. So that is, you have really informed me about something I love, and I'm going to go and spend the rest of the day Googling this stuff, and I'm going to see if I can. I didn't even know, I'd never thought. I do a lot of work with facial recognition technologies, with AI and machine learning, but I'd never thought that you could, apply that to a turtle. That's very, very cool. So I'm going to go and see if I can find my pictures and talk to my friends in Egypt who work there and see if we can identify some turtles and get on the leaderboard. So that was, I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much for telling me about all that stuff. A couple of maybe things for you that you might be interested in. And I'll send these to Amelia. But I was looking at a volunteering group a while ago called Asdan Volunteer. And they have various conservation projects around the world and also lots online to do with dolphins and marine ecology and the environment, and there may be some things relating to turtles in there too. So I'll send a link over that might be interesting to you. Given clearly you're so interested in this, do you think that you'll be studying marine biology in future? Maybe is that something you're interested in?
Well, I definitely hope so. I hope that I will sort of get into conserving marine life, especially turtles. I think that's very important.
In which case, there's another organization you might be interested in, who, as a diver, we like them very much, and they're called Sea Shepherd. And they go around, it's a little bit like Greenpeace, and they go around, they're very interested in conserving the marine environment. So that might be interesting to look at too. But that was great. Thank you very much for all of your hard work putting that together. And I'm fully bought into the Internet of Turtles. That's great. Thank you.
Well done, Holly.
Thank you.
And if you just inspire one person with your talk, then it's been a successful morning.